following a suspected Brazilian butt lift procedure, has described her as a thoughtful, lovely and caring person. 33-year-old Alice Webb became unwell after having a liquid BBL on Monday. She was rushed to Gloucestershire Royal Hospital but died just hours later. It's thought she's the first person to die from such a procedure in the UK. 2 people have been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter. Our reporter Ellie Pitt has previously highlighted the dangers of such procedures and the need for regulation. A warning that her report contains images of botched surgery.
In September 2024, Alice Webb, a 33-year-old mother of 5 from Gloucestershire, made a decision that would change her life forever. Seeking a fuller, more youthful appearance, she opted for a non-surgical Brazilian butt lift, BBL, a procedure involving the injection of hyaluronic acid-based fillers into the buttocks. Marketed as a safe alternative to traditional surgery, Alice couldn't have anticipated the dangers lurking beneath the surface. It is good for us to get the background information of this wonderful mum of 5 before we get into the details of this sad story. Alice Webb, a 33-year-old mother from Gloucestershire, was a vibrant and caring woman who had already overcome significant personal challenges in her life. One of the most notable aspects of her background was her battle with breast cancer. Despite this hardship, she showed incredible strength and resilience, ultimately triumphing over the illness. Alice's survival inspired her to focus on improving her life and restoring her self-esteem. Alice had a deep love for her children and was dedicated to providing for them. However, after surviving cancer, Alice sought the Brazilian butt lift, BBL, procedure to regain her confidence and feel better about her appearance. Like many others, she was attracted to the promise of a youthful, fuller appearance with a minimal recovery time. Tragically, this decision would not be ending well, as there were complications from the procedure, which was later found to be performed by an unlicensed practitioner at an unregulated beauty clinic. Alice's chosen clinic, Studio 23, operated from a Victorian home in Gloucester, offering a range of cosmetic enhancements. During her consultation, Alice was assured of the procedure's safety and minimal recovery time, with no mention of potential severe complications. The liquid BBL involves injecting dermal fillers like hyaluronic acid to enhance the size and shape of the buttocks without surgery. Despite its growing popularity, the liquid BBL carries significant risks. Experts warn that injecting fillers into the buttocks can lead to severe complications, including infections and embolism. On the day of the procedure, Alice was administered the injections without immediate complications. However, unbeknownst to Alice, the practitioner administering the procedure was not a licensed medical professional, raising serious concerns about the clinic's standards.
Alice Webb was a beauty practitioner and mum to 5 daughters. On Monday, she underwent a cosmetic procedure that she did not survive. Her partner Dane has said online, "Want to say a heartfelt thank you to all family and friends that were here for us at our time of need. There was some very beautiful messages sent by some of your children that formed a start of a smile from the corner of my kid's mouth." Gloucestershire police have confirmed that Alice became unwell after a cosmetic procedure and she was brought to this hospital where she died in the early hours of Tuesday morning. She had undergone a non-surgical or liquid Brazilian butt lift. It's where hundreds, sometimes 1,000 millilitres of cosmetic fluid called filler is injected into the buttocks to increase the size and shape of the bum. ITV News has reported on the filler BBL for nearly a year. We've spoken to dozens of women who've suffered complications, including sepsis and dead tissue. But it's believed Alice is the first woman to die after having it done.
It's something that was going to happen in our minds at some time because of the incredibly unregulated sort of Wild West environment we have in the UK. What really needs to happen is the licensing scheme that was proposed before the election needs to be pushed forward and needs to be enacted.
2 people have been arrested by Gloucestershire police on suspicion of manslaughter, and ITV News understands that the person who carried out the procedure on Alice has no medical qualifications. They've both been bailed. Alice was a mum who had a cosmetic treatment that could change her appearance. Instead, it claimed her life.
Well, Ellie joins us now from our Bristol newsroom. And as I said, Ellie, you've been investigating this industry for a while, and the clamour for regulation is growing, isn't it?
Definitely, Charlene. I've been reporting now on the warning signs that we've seen from these kind of invasive procedures being carried out by non-medics. I've spoken to women who've suffered life-threatening infections and who have been left with disfigurement from scarring as a result of there not being proper regulations in place around who can carry out these procedures. Now, under rules that the previous government were considering, both people and their premises that carry out these procedures would have to have a licence. And there was also proposals around a tiered system, which would see the most invasive procedures only be able to carried out by trained and healthcare professionals. Now, tonight, the current government has told us they are exploring options around regulatory oversight of the non-surgical cosmetics sector and will provide an update in due course. But for many clients and practitioners, that cannot come soon enough. Look, we've reported on the deaths of procedures that have gone wrong abroad, but this is different tonight. This is a woman who has died in the UK from a procedure that under proposed plans would not be able to be carried out by anyone other than a fully registered and regulated healthcare professional. But those plans are not in place yet.
In the following hours, Alice began to experience severe pain and swelling. Tragically, her condition rapidly deteriorated, leading to sepsis, a life-threatening infection. Emergency services rushed to the scene, but despite their efforts, Alice's condition worsened rapidly. Despite immediate medical intervention, Alice's health continued to decline, culminating in her untimely death. Alice Webb's tragic death marked the first known fatality in the UK linked to a non-surgical BBL procedure, igniting a nationwide debate about the safety and regulation of cosmetic treatments.
So a BBL, or a liquid BBL as they're referred to here, is the non-surgical version of the surgical counterpart, which involves liposuction and fat transfer. The non-surgical BBL, liquid BBL, is carried out using a high volume of hyaluronic acid dermal filler, which is typically used to augment the lips or the cheeks or the face in very, very small amounts. In the BBL case, it's using big quantities, 200-300 millilitres in each buttock to enhance the shape and size of the buttocks. We wrote to the government and government ministers asking them to ban these procedures as a matter of urgency. We explained in no uncertain terms that unless they took urgent action, that somebody would lose their life. And, you know, every time I get a phone call or an email come through about these procedures, I think, is this going to be the one? And unfortunately, yesterday, devastatingly, it was. And the government really need to reconsider their options and act fast and ban these procedures and lay people from doing them. We were so alarmed when we started getting these complaints come through, and the severity of them was extreme. And we noticed that in 100% of the cases that we managed to date, they've all been carried out by non-healthcare professionals. So we thought to ourselves, who actually is doing these treatments in the UK? So we have a database of over 20,000 medical professionals that operate in this space. So doctors, plastic surgeons, dermatologists, dentists, nurses. And we survey them and ask them, do you offer this treatment? And if no, why not, essentially? And we had over 2,000 responses, and 99% of those people said they would not offer these treatments because of the risks involved. Yet you have absolute lay people with no healthcare experience whatsoever that may or may not have completed some form of training course, that feel it's appropriate for them to put people's lives in jeopardy and offer these treatments, and promoting them as being risk-free, painless, cheap alternatives to the very, very dangerous counterparts. It's outrageous.
Alice's partner, Dane Knight, recalled the heart-wrenching moment he had to inform their 5 daughters of their mother's sudden passing. The community mourned the loss of a woman who had touched so many lives with her kindness and spirit. The family's plea for answers echoed the sentiments of many who couldn't fathom how such a tragedy could occur. Having overcome breast cancer, Alice sought the BBL to restore her self-esteem, unaware of the lurking dangers. Why didn't Alice know the risks? What went wrong during the procedure? Lack of clear answers left many questioning the safety standards of such cosmetic treatments. The investigation commenced swiftly, with law enforcement meticulously examining Studio 23 for evidence of malpractice and regulatory breaches. 2 individuals, including the practitioner who administered Alice's procedure, were arrested on suspicion of manslaughter. Both were later released on bail, pending further investigation. The community's collective heartache was palpable, with many struggling to comprehend how such a tragedy could strike a beloved local figure. We need answers. Alice didn't deserve this. We want justice for her and safety for others. The family's heartfelt plea resonated deeply, amplifying the urgency for accountability and systemic reform. Jordan Park, self-styled as the Lip King, was among those arrested. Despite lacking formal medical training, he offered high-risk procedures, raising serious concerns about industry regulations. Save Face, a national register of accredited practitioners, had long warned about the dangers of non-surgical BBLs, yet their calls for regulation went largely unheeded until Alice's death. Investigations revealed a disturbing trend of untrained beauticians performing high-risk procedures, often in environments lacking basic hygiene standards. Medical experts highlighted the intricate anatomy of the buttocks, cautioning that injecting fillers without comprehensive knowledge could lead to fatal complications. In response to mounting public pressure, the Department of Health initiated consultations to explore stricter regulations on non-surgical cosmetic procedures, acknowledging the urgent need for oversight. Alice's tragic story resonated globally, sparking international discussions about the need for stringent regulations in the cosmetic industry. Across the country, beauty clinics operate with minimal oversight. In some, practitioners with scant training perform high-risk procedures, jeopardizing clients' lives for profit. The absence of stringent laws means anyone, regardless of their qualifications, can offer invasive beauty treatments. This regulatory gap has led to numerous complications, including infections and disfigurements. Digging deeper, records show that the practitioner had a history of complaints. Despite this, they remained active, highlighting systemic failures in vetting and monitoring. Procedures like liquid BBLs should only be performed by trained surgeons. The risks are too high to entrust them to unqualified individuals. Despite mounting evidence and public demand, government action remains sluggish, leaving many to wonder, how many more must suffer before change comes? The beauty industry, like many others, must be held accountable for its actions. It is up to us, the public, to ensure that tragedies like Alice's do not happen again. We must all speak up and demand better. As we remember Alice, let her story be a catalyst for change, ensuring that no other family endures such heartache. We can only hope Alice Webb receives the justice she deserves. What are your thoughts? How much responsibility should fall on the doctors for their actions? We invite you to share your views in the comments. I am leaving you with 2 more crime stories that are more shocking than what you just watched. And by the way, if you like the way we share these stories or you have learned something new, we invite you to like and share this video, and if you have not subscribed, consider doing so now. And always remember to leave your thoughts in the comments section. Maybe you could help someone avoid tragedy by your experience or advice. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching to the end.